A private boat tour in Playa del Carmen sounds like the ultimate luxury experience, but is it really worth the price? In this video, I'm giving you my honest review of a private boat tour in Playa del Carmen, covering the good, the bad, and whether I'd recommend it for your trip. I'll break down everything, what's included, the cost, the experience, and any surprises you should know before booking. So let's get into it. So number one, booking the tour and what to expect. So what's included? Most private boat tours offer a mix of snorkeling, sightseeing, open bar services. Some include meals while others charge extra for food. So where to book? You can book through your resort, online platforms, or directly with a local operator. Each has its pros and cons. Pro tip here, booking directly with local companies often gets you the best price and more customization options. So our host, who was not me, booked the charter through Tulum Charters, so tulumcharters.com, and he pretty much broke down he said his process is you can reach out to the charter company, discuss details, number of passengers, dates, charter length, amenities, and activities. You'll get a quote. You can pretty much book it from there. Then you can share passenger details to tailor the food, beverages, trip details. You want to make sure you arrange transportation. And then there's a couple of check-ins leading up to the trip. Now that was his perspective. From my perspective, the one thing you want to make sure before you book is make sure you think about anti-nausea pills as well where necessary, because we certainly hit some rough seas. So if you have anybody on the boat or yourself that could get nauseous, make sure you take those accommodations with you. Number two, the cost and is it worth it? So price ranges, private boat tours vary from budget-friendly catamarans to $300 to $500 to high-end luxury yachts, which could be $1,500 plus. So hidden fees here, some tours charge extra for fuel, premium alcohol, or docking fees. Always ask what's included up front. Pro tip, if you're traveling with a group, splitting the cost makes a private tour surprisingly affordable compared to group excursions. A wonderful guest of our party, which was our host, covered the cost of our boat excursion. He gave me the breakdown of the cost. So experience perspective, he's done this on other islands as well. So it was a $650 deposit. It was $250 for the car service to the marina, which was about 45 minutes. It was $2,050 for the charter fee. Total charter was $2,700 with the deposit. $500 crew tip, so the total spend was $3,450. Typically, charters run $500 to $800 an hour with a 4-hour minimum, he said. This price depends on the vessel size and amenities, crew size, etc. Our boat was fairly new, sophisticated, 4-person crew, private chef, premium food and drinks, etc. He said I could have saved about $1,000 to $1,200 if I went with a cheaper boat with less crew. So that was kind of the breakdown of the entire cost. He has done this, like I said, in other islands in the Caribbean and things like that. So that was his breakdown and his experience. Moving into the overall experience, what the day looks like. So boarding and check-in, expect to meet a marina, sign waivers, get safety instructions before heading out. That's pretty standard. The sailing experience, most tours offer a mix of cruising, swimming, snorkeling at reefs or sandbars. Some even include stops at secluded beaches. Pro tip here, bring motion sickness like we talked about. Meds if you're sensitive to waves. The water can be choppier than expected. And it was, especially on our trip. So our day from the experience perspective, the one who covered the charter. So it was 1 hour each way for transportation. It was about 45 minutes. It was 5 hours on the boat. So good surprises for him. A great crew, especially nice having a hostess and chef on board. Typically you just have the captain and first mate. So with 4 crew, the service was outstanding in my opinion. He said bad surprises for him. We didn't go very far offshore. He said in other charters we've gone so far out that you couldn't see land, either due to rough seas or they wanted to save money on gas was the reason. So it was a bit rough, or he said they could have just wanted to save money on gas, or both. So from our day, from my perspective, I had an amazing experience. I thought the staff and the service was amazing. The boat was super clean. I thought the food was average. I thought the drinks and the drink service were amazing. Literally didn't let my beer get warm or without one. Water activities were cool, and there was options inside of the water as well if you're not a big into snorkeling. I'm not. We visited 2 locations. They were both very nice, and I thought the overall trip was very enjoyable afternoon, and it was great to relax with friends. So next, let's talk about snorkeling, marine life, and is that part of it worth it? So The good, some tours take you to incredible snorkeling spots with clear water and abundant marine life. The not so great, popular snorkeling areas can be crowded and visibility depends on the weather. So we certainly didn't have any crowds. The visibility, which I'll get into, wasn't the best. So pro tip here, ask in advance about the snorkeling locations. Some are better than others, and experienced captains know where to go for the best experience. So from our experience perspective, the person who paid for the charter, he said the snorkeling water clarity was okay, but not amazing. He said some charters really have amazing spots to see fish and wildlife. However, I'm comparing this somewhat to the charter we did in the Caymans. He said, which was an amazing experience, but also about double the cost. So if you're thinking about really, I want to have a crazy reef experience, it may come at a significant cost. I got personally into the water, swim around with fins, and my wife did some paddle boarding and floating on the raft. Things were, there was like a floating rafting, which was a great option. I'm not big into snorkeling. I'm quite a good swimmer. I just not big into snorkeling. So I just kind of float around. If you aren't a great swimmer, they will also provide you a life vest, fins, and a guide who will stick close to you, so you don't have to ever get nervous with that, which I thought was a really great experience with having 4 crew members. So even if you're not big into snorkeling or you're a little bit afraid of open water, they have that covered as well, at least on this excursion. So moving on to the service and crew and what to expect. So here, hospitality matters. The crew can make or break the experience 100%. Some go above and beyond, while others may just go through the motions. Food and drinks, some boats have a full menu, while others only offer basic snacks and drinks. Pro tip here, if you have dietary preferences, check if the boat allows you to bring your own food as well for, picky eaters or people that may have issues. So from the experience perspective, he said the food was good, not out of this world, although honestly, the food in Mexico is decent, but not a foodie paradise in my opinion anyway. I know I'm being very picky because you asked, but I honestly had a great time and nothing to complain about. My perspective, I thought the food was fine, like I talked about before. I thought the drink service was actually above and beyond, was quite amazing. And I thought the overall crew friendliness and service I thought was excellent. So the food to me was probably like a 6 or 7 out of 10, but I thought the drink service and the readiness to be always available, I thought was exceptional. So next, let's talk about the atmosphere, relaxing, or party vibes. So different boat types are different vibes. Some tours cater to families and couples, while others are full-on party boats, which we pulled up next to one of those in one of our stops. So customization, if you want a specific vibe, whether it's a romantic sunset cruise or a lively day out, make sure to communicate that when you are booking. Pro tip here, some boats offer Bluetooth speakers, so bring your playlist to set the mood. My perspective, the atmosphere was inviting. We did have Bluetooth on the boat, and actually our host was the one kind of covering the tunes and setting the mood, which was really, really cool. Once again, the service was on top of everything, and you felt a bit like a celebrity, which I thought was really cool. Because it was a private charter, when we pulled up at the second spot, we were right next to kind of a public charter with lots of people on the boat, and it definitely it was my kind of vibe for that. So pros and cons of a private boat tour. So pros, it's exclusive, crowd-free experience, which is exactly what I like. Customizable itinerary, which was cool, great for special occasions, and no waiting for other groups, which was amazing. Cons, can be a bit pricey, especially for smaller groups. Weather can impact the experience for sure. Some locations can be crowded. We did not run into that, even in the second spot, didn't feel that way. And then the hidden fees if not booked carefully. So make sure you're asking lots of questions about the private charter as well. So final verdict here, is it worth booking? So, is a private boat tour in Playa del Carmen worth it? If you love being on the water and want a personalized experience without crowds, I would say absolutely. If you're on a tighter budget or don't mind a shared experience, there are great group tours that offer similar activities at a lower cost. So you may even end up going to the same places. It's just really how you want to interact while you're on the boat. Do you want to have to always be worrying about moving around people, or you just kind of want to relax and be with friends only? It's up to you. So would I do it again? 100%. I didn't feel sick at all and I took anti-nausea pills, which was super helpful, and the entire experience was amazing. Now, obviously, I didn't pay, so it should have been amazing. So the service and everything to me was even a step up, and being around friends only and not around people I didn't know was extremely rewarding. So I absolutely loved it, and I would pay to do this type of excursion now knowing the price. So once again, if you found this review helpful, please let me know. If you have any questions below specifically about the excursion, you can let me know as well. And I can even get feedback from the experienced person who actually paid for the trip. But once again, if I had to go pay for this service for the same experience, I would 100% pay for what he covered for the charter. But it was Wonderful, relaxing. I thought the 5 hours went by extremely quickly. And even though I got into the water only once and didn't do a whole lot of reefing, being on the boat and traveling around, having drinks and spending good time with good friends made it all totally worth it. So hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them down below and we will catch you on the next one.